So another great way to welcome the drivers onto the circuit here. We are getting set for the junior final here at the Lucas Guerrero circuit. Before we get into that, once again, down in the sunshine now is Jenny Ways.
Okay, now Jason, we had a little chat earlier in the week. You said the competition's good, but you're feeling quite confident this year. So maybe you can tell us how your weekend's been, and of course, is there any strategy for the final?
Yeah, we have a strategy. We want to stay on the third, and we want just to be on the top 5.
Have you enjoyed the racing here in Valencia this weekend?
Yeah, it was very nice.
Of course, a little bit of rain yesterday, but that didn't seem to bother you so much. You've got quite a lot of experience.
Yeah, I was 7, but I am not so good in the rain. That's for me very nice.
Of course, I was going to talk to your technician here and see if he's going to give us any tips about the race. It's a long race, but he refused to do that. Have you enjoyed being here with Dan Holland this weekend?
Yeah, this is a very nice team, and my mechanic is also very good.
He's got all the right answers. Okay, we'll leave you with it. Good luck and enjoy the race. Thank you. Yeah, it's a secret. Quick chat with Mike before we get kicked off the grid. Now, Mike, I hope that I can hear you inside your helmet there. How's your weekend been?
It was very good tot nu toe.
And what about sitting here on the third row of the grid for the final at the Winter Cup? Did you expect that you'd be here?
No, I'm not expect.
Where did you expect? Top 10, 15?
Yeah, top 10. Well, top 10.
Okay, so now looks like we've got a nice afternoon. Have you got a little bit of a strategy there? Because no one's giving me any tips on what they're going to do.
No, I have no strategy.
Good answer. Okay, wish you luck, and it's been great to have you here at the Winter Cup, so we'll see you at the end of the race.
Thank you.
A little bit of focus here. Can hear all the brains ticking over. Now, I know we've got a little bit of experience here in the middle of the grid. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good.
And have you enjoyed the racing here in Valencia so far this weekend?
Yeah, it's a really good weekend for. I want to have a lot of experience for the championship.
Now, of course, Kobe, we are on a grid with a lot of new drivers who you don't know. Have you been surprised by the level of the drivers this weekend?
I know some drivers from the Minimax, and it's my friend, so it's possible a little bit better for me.
Of course, I think it's a first race for a lot of the guys here out of Minimax. A couple of more experience, but it's been some great racing, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's a really good racing. Every race it's fair, and yeah, it's good.
Okay, so we wish you luck because we're going to have to get off the grid soon, let you race. Nice to have you here at the Winter Cup, and we wish you luck.
Thank you.
Okay, so Matt, might have to let you take over here. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Jen. Yeah, so down on the grid, always great to hear from the drivers. They're now in their final preparations before the race does get underway. In just a few minutes' time, we'll have the klaxon to clear the grid of all of the mechanics, and then we can get this junior race underway. 27 have made it through to this final. Great entry once again for this weekend. One of the drivers you heard from down on the grid was Mike van Voogd, who is from the Netherlands. The 12-year-old, been racing now for a good 6 or 7 years, and has had some good accolades over the last few years as well, whereas racing BNL, the BMC, and also the Minimax Championship. Would like to be like Max Verstappen one day. That's one of the legends he aspires to be like, and also would love to be a world champion as well. And one of his favourite circuits, he tells us, is the Adria Raceway circuit in Italy, which is fairly new to many, many people. You've got Lewis Gilbert down there on the grid as well, the 12-year-old from Scotland. We've had, of course, Dean McDonald in the past racing with us from Scotland. And Lewis Gilbert is now the man who joined us on the junior grid from Dowry in Scotland. Racing with Persistence Motorsport for this year. Been racing for around about 3 years, and he's done some good things recently as well. The Cadet Scottish Championship he raced in, and of course was champion there, and also the NKF Minimax Vice Champion over the last couple of years. In his spare time, Lewis likes to do a bit of basketball and would one day love to win the karting World Championship. And of course, if you keep aspiring to do things like that, one day it could well and truly become a reality. Javier Hansemeyer, a good weekend so far for him, and that was proven in the previous race, the pre-final, where he qualified to get himself onto pole position. He had a little bit of a drama this morning with a loose wheel, which put him off in the warm-up session, but Javier Hansemeyer comes from Brussels in Belgium. Will be heading to his home circuit for round 1 in Genk in around about 6 weeks' time. Racing with Bouvon Power, been racing now for some 4 years, the 13-year-old. Some of his accolades include a win at Portimao back June last year, and also the Academy Trophy 4th, where he finished there overall in the final standings. One of his sayings to us here in the box is, YOLO, you only live once. That's very true indeed. So Javier Hansemeyer doing exactly that here today, and looking to take the final win of the weekend, where he sits down there on pole position to the left of your screen. One of the best places to sit on any grid, especially when you head into turn 1 in the right direction through the right-hander. So we'll see how he gets on from there. You've got Rick Bethorn as well on the grid. He is somewhere in the middle of the pack. Rick Bethorn from the Netherlands, the 12-year-old, been racing for 4 years. This year he's jumped on board with Montfort Motorsports. Some of his achievements over the last few years, well, he was 5th on the 2016 Euro final grid, and also he was many times first in the Dutch Championship. He likes to be like a two-wheel racer as well. Marc Marquez, one of his racing heroes, who is doing very well in MotoGP at the minute. One of his goals in the next few years, he'd like to be racing at Le Mans in the Endurance Championship, and would like to thank everyone at Montfort Motorsports and his mum and his dad as well. So good luck to Rick Bethorn, a little bit lower down on the grid, just inside the top 20. So the countdown is on then, just a few more minutes before the drivers are released onto the grid. You can see some of the field there as we work our way towards the back. That is Levente Lasconze, who had a problem yesterday in one of the heats on the warm-up lap. He careered into the tyre barrier, but great to see him doing well. He's back on the grid, and he'll be starting from 27th place. We'll see how Levente Lasconze gets on from the back, but everyone correct and present as they should be. It's now starting to look pretty nice down there. As I said, the sunshine just starting to peek through, which will just give the drivers a little bit more of an incentive, and you can now be assured that everyone is on slick tyres. No one taking the risk to go for wets, although we did think there may have been a chance of some rain during the lunch break, but that has not become apparent. So for now, it's staying dry, and hopefully it will do until the end of all the finals, because it would be a shame to ruin some of the races with the rain, but of course it could favour some people as well. But we'll see how this one goes. There is the number 34 kart you can see if you're watching on Telemundi Media. That is Gazoo Caesar. He is from France with the RM Concept kart. He sits there in his lovely, immaculate blue and black kart machine, and he'll be heading off on this first of 2 warm-up laps in just a few seconds' time. As the green light is given, the warm-up lap now gets underway here for the junior final. So the weaving begins, the warm-up lap is underway as well, and the grid is going to line up for this final race for the juniors as follows. It has Javier Hansemeyer on pole position after his pre-final win earlier this morning. Tijsman van der Helm, the quickest man from yesterday, will start alongside second on the grid. Row 2 is then headed by Luca Nurmi, with Jasin Ferati, who we heard from down on the grid, 4th on the grid. 5th on the grid. Row 3 is going to be Mike Van Voogd with Hugo Gazil alongside. Then on to row number 4, we're going to see Luca Lystra, who is very quick in qualifying on Friday. He's got Lewis Gilbert alongside him. 5th row then lines up with Mads Rice and Sylvester Alex Jarvis. Row 6 is Pietri Wisnicki with Papshin Krajeveld. Row 7 is going to be the local lad Joseph Vea from Spain and Vladimir Eriksson in 14th place. Then on to row number 8 is going to be Christopher Sasha with Kobe Pauls, another man we heard from down on the grid with Jenny. Then on to row number 9 is going to be Ben Valant with Guilherme de Oliveira alongside, and then just inside the top 20, row 10 is going to be headed by Rick Bethorn and Marcel Chamax. Row 11 then sees Jan Malacek with Ali Largim alongside him. Row 12 headed by Frederick Yurik with Alexander Dezebekian. row 13, penultimate row of the grid has Benz Tujon with Kazoo, Seize Up, and the final man on the grid, as we spoke about, that's going to be Leventi Las Conte, 27th and last, but of course can always make progress from there once this race does get underway. Just like the Minimax final, it's going to be a 12-lap encounter, so plenty of time to sort yourselves out and find your way through the field. Some of the lower people you may need to look out for in this one are going to be the likes of Luca Lystrup, who just struggled in the pre-final. He'll start 7th on the grid. Also watch out for as well Papshin Krejeveld, who was with us last year in the Junior Championship. He'll be a man who knows this track and has experience with these races as well. So watch out for Papshin down in 12th place. And of course the ones towards the front who have been very impressive so far this weekend as well. So onto the back straight they're about to go in the ever drying conditions here at the circuit for this, the Winter Cup. Who is going to be crowned the junior champion of this event? We're about to find out in the space of the next 12 minutes or so. Down towards the penultimate corner they come, the last cart on the grid, the final bit of warm-up to be done for that competitor. That is now in place. Everyone will be line astern, side by side through the grid hatchings, and 12 laps of racing is about to get underway for the junior final here in Spain. They're being told to slow through the hatchings across the line with the red lights going out, and away we go. Another cracking start from the juniors as they go down to the first corner. There's contact in the middle of the pack there. Someone got ridden up. I think that was Luca Lystra who made contact with someone, so he has escaped, but the other person, I think, is off the track. And some of the front runners go across the grass as well. They've just been caught out by the slippery conditions through the first couple of corners, so we've had drama. Some have ended up in the gravel trap, some have continued on their way as well, so loads of people to try and work out who we have lost. Jasin Ferati was one of them who has recovered. 24 is another one, Mads Rice, and also number 26 by the looks of it, which is the cart of Sylvester Alex Jarves, who has gone into the gravel trap as well. So 3 or 4 have really dropped down the order. 2 are not going to take any further part. So what a dramatic start to this race. Meantime, up front, I think it's still Javier Hansmeier who leads the way. Here's the man who pushes on down towards the final couple of corners in the number 36 machine for Bouvon Power. Second place looking out the window. I think that's still Tijman van der Helm. Managed to escape through all the melee to come through yet in second place. Third place is Luca Nurmi from where he started, third on the grid. Then behind that we've got Hugo Gazil. Papshin Krejeveld is in 5th place. 6th place then for Lewis Gilbert. 7th is Pietro Wisnicki. Then you've got Vladimir Eriksson, Joseph Weyer and Kirby Pauls who round out your top 10. The ones we lost on that first lap, as we said, were Jasin Ferati, Mads Rice, Sylvester Alex Jarves and Christopher Sasha has returned along with Jasin Ferati. So quite a few dropping down the order there, but the main runners pretty much stay towards the front. And Luca Lystra, was he involved in that incident? Yes, he was. He was the man who made contact down towards turn 1 in now 12th place. He lost 5 positions from where he started. But Javier Hansmeier up front, now under pressure from Tijman van der Helm. Nose to tail down the back straight in towards the right-hander at turn 12. Can Tijman get through? He's looking very racy at the minute as they work their way in towards the chicane. No way through there. He'll then have a go down along the start-finish line to see if he can get a good run in towards the first corner. He's picked up a nice toe. He's going to pull out now. He's going to go to the inside line. Tijman van der Helm takes over the lead of the race here in Spain. He goes through in this Winter Cup race. He now heads Javier Hansmeier by a very small margin. But watch out as well for Luca Nurmi. He's going to be very, very close in the next few laps here to try and close that gap down. Let's see what he can do over the rest of the pack. Hugo Gazil is still close as well in 4th place. And Papshin Krejeveld, as I said, watch out for him. He's made up already 7 positions from where he started. So a really good job from Papshin, a man who knows his field inside out pretty much after racing juniors last year. So let's see now what he can do to try and get to the podium. The leaders work their way through the last couple of corners. On towards the back straight they go once more then, with Javier Hansmeier now down to 2nd place. Tijman van der Helm, the man who leads the way, but how long for? Because here comes Javier Hansmeier again, using the wide part of the track to get himself as close as possible to Tijman van der Helm as they cross the line once more then. Just 0.2 of a second separate the top 2, but Tijman van der Helm is the quickest man on circuit, 58.949, and Tijman has for the time being managed to hold on to the lead ahead of Javier Hansmeier. There you can see the stricken cart of number 24, which is Mads Rice, which sits in the gravel trap on the exit of turn number 1. Everyone kind of just seemed to scatter across the grass, and some came flying back onto the circuit and collected other people in the process, unfortunately. So they've ended the race for themselves as Tijman van der Helm heads onto the back straight then. Javier Hansmeier there in 2nd place. Tijman with the quickest lap of the race so far, 58.949. So turn away through the twiddly stuff, then start to build the speed once more through the exit of turn number 11. There is a couple of guys close together as well. That's Luca Nurmi and Hugo Gazil. In fact, Hugo Gazil, who's just been passed by Papsin Krejcievel. They are your two through shot now into towards the final chicane. They're about to head, but the leaders are ever closer as well. Tijman van der Helm and Javier Hansemeier. Can he now retaliate with a move just like Tijman pulled a lap ago? Not by the looks of it. In fact, 2 laps ago he pulled that move. He's been there for that long now. There is one of the drivers walking away from what has happened on circuit. I think that's a different incident. Yes, it is. We've had another one that we've lost towards the end of the circuit. And I can tell you that kart is number 16 that's disappeared. So that's going to be the participant of Alexander Dezebekian. So he is now out the race as well. Close quarters here between 2 drivers. That's Papsin Krejcievel under attack from Hugo Gazil. Hugo Gazil gets a good run onto that short straight down towards turn 9. Does he look for a move? No, not quite. Papsin Krejcievel, I can tell you, just about holds on to that. So no swapping around there for those 2 guys. As I'll come through your picture now, there they are. Exactly the same as they were when they left us. They now head onto the back straight. So you've got a good battle up front with the top 2 at the minute, trying to be joined by Luca Nurmi, and of course that good fight with the 4th place guys as well, which is just about to come through the chicane on towards the main start finish line. But of course, which one do you look at? It's very hard to decide here, but we're going to look at the 4th place one for now, as down the inside line goes Hugo Gazil, back past Papsin Krejcievel. A great move there to get the job done nice and clean, which is what we want to see within the junior category. So those 2 now have swapped around. And in fact, they're being caught here by Lewis Gilbert, doing a grand job. He's gained 2 places since the start of this race, and he's now near enough with those 2 as well, because they've been battling hammer and song for the last 2 or 3 laps, and now Lewis Gilbert has just about caught up with them. So let's see if Lewis can join the party as well, see what he can do. We've had another one off down at turn number 5 by the looks of it. That is the kart of 22, which is Kobe Paul. So Kobe Paul's unfortunately having a moment down in front of us. He's now recovered. A lot of dust being kicked up and dirt onto the track. And in fact, we've got another one that's we've lost as well. Is that Luca Lystra from the pack, number 15? It was 2, in fact. I can just see now behind the gantry. One of them, in fact, is number 16 by the looks of it, that we've lost. So trying to pick up all these pieces. That's Alexander Dezebekin, I thought, but maybe not, because he was already out in the race anyway. But we'll try and piece that together on this next lap. In fact, it was Luca Lystra. There was too much damage to the bodywork, which insisted that he was involved in that. But yeah, Luca Lystra was involved, Geza Caesar and Kobe Pauls by the looks of it. So 3 of them have lost positions wide there. You can see Papsin Krejcievel just about gets it back on the tarmac in time before he had to turn left again there. The tyres would have been dirty, but he's managed to keep himself in the race, although he's dropped down 1 position by the looks of it, because Lewis Gilbert has now gone through as well. He's up into 5th position, just behind Hugo Gazil. So great race here so far for Lewis Gilbert. You may have just seen on your screen as well there that Tijman van der Helm is possibly under investigation by the stewards. So this could be interesting towards the end of the race. We'll wait to see if we get any more notifications on that one. But for now, he still leads the race ahead of Javier Hansemeier by 0.2 of a second. Javier trying to get a nice tight line through the first corner and run down towards the chicane at turn 3. Can he pull out and go for a move? No, he can't. And of course, I think Javier Hansemeier will possibly be aware of this under investigation for Tijman van der Helm. If it's flashing up on the gantry, then he'll know. But of course, he may not know what number he is, but he should do, because he can see a nice plaque right on the back of Tijman's kart there. So he might be wary of this. But of course, you've still got to try your hardest. You never know which way that investigation may go. So Javier Hansemeier still sits 2nd. 3rd place then for Luca Nurmi. 4th place is still Hugo Gazil. 5th place is the kart of Lewis Gilbert, followed by Papsin Krejcievel. Mike van Vogt is now down to 7th place. Joseph Veyer sits 8th. Pietro Wisnicki is 9th. And 10th place is Valdemir Eriksson at the end of what was the 7th lap of the race. 8 laps now to be completed as the leaders turn their way through the chicane once more, in towards the start-finish line once more. Just saw a glimpse of Lewis Gilbert in the background. He's the man in 4th place now, so he's made his way through ahead of Hugo Gazil. So great job there for Lewis Gilbert. He's made up 4 positions. What a race for Lewis. Do we reckon he can get to the podium? Maybe not, to be fair. He's 3.2 seconds back from the top 3. Unless they all bring themselves together, it might not happen, but Lewis Gilbert will give it his best shot possible. Mike van Vogt now has done the quickest lap of anyone, 58.097. He is up into 7th position. Joseph Veyer on this lap has just done the quickest of anyone in Sector 1. So he is now trying to have a good fight with Mike van Vogt. In fact, they're all together there. You've got about 4 or 5 drivers tied by a very small piece of string. So we'll watch out for them to see what happens. In fact, here they are now coming through the picture. They're all together as they work their way on towards the back straight once more. The battle for the lead is ever closer though, because Tijman van der Helm is under pressure from Javier Hansemeyer. Down in towards the chicane they come, nose to tail once more then as they work their way on towards the start finish line. The gap was just under 1/4 of a second. So much going on, it's hard to pick out what's happening, but this is the next battle to see us through, which is Hugo Gazelle. He's now fallen into the clutches of Mike van Voogd. Papchen Krejceveld is in there as well, and 3 more join the action. Pietro Wisnicki, Joseph Weyer and Lewis Gilbert. So what's happened to Lewis there? He's had some problems and he's dropped down to 9th place. He was almost on the podium, but now it's all gone horribly wrong for him. So that's changed around between those 6 or 7 drivers. The battle for the lead is still as it was, but now here comes Javier Hansemeyer. I can tell you down the inside line for a change for the lead. He goes through and gets past Tijman van der Helm. So Javier Hansemeyer has gone now into the lead. Tijman van der Helm down to 2nd. Let's see if he can keep it that way on the run towards the final couple of corners. But for now, we're just watching this battle between Mike van Voogd, Hugo Gazelle, as we said, Papchen Krejceveld, Pietro Wisnicki and Joseph Weyer. Lead us down towards the final chicane. Here they are. Tijman van der Helm is back in front though, so Javier Hansemeyer didn't have it for long as they cross the line now, work their way down towards the first corner. Tijman is starting to go defensive, but look who's coming for company. You've got Luca Nurmi, who's now pretty much right with them. So a battle for the lead is going to turn into a trio here very, very shortly. We're now on to the 10th lap of this junior final as the leaders work their way through the right-hander at turn number 5. Who's going to try the next move here? I'm sure it's going to be Luca Nurmi before too much longer. He'll be counting all of his chickens at once in this race as he turns his way now on towards the short straight, down towards turn 9. Javier Hansemeyer again not going for a move there because I can see that Tijman van der Helm went defensive. He's going defensive at every single corner. Surely he's going to come a cropper very shortly if he's not careful. Trying to squeeze down the inside line. Javier Hansemeyer has now gone through into the lead once more as they work their way down the back straight. Tijman van der Helm is pushing as much as he can because he knows Luca Nurmi is going to be there with them as well very, very shortly. All now together in towards the chicane they come. 3 as 1. We head now on to lap number 11 in this final. They're going to fan out 3 abreast down towards the first corner. Hansemeyer, van der Helm, and here comes Luca Nurmi to the inside line to try and grab 2nd place away in the race. Can he get the job done? He's up to 2nd. Yes, he can. 3 past Tijman van der Helm. Now there's just one more on his list to try and grab, which is going to be Javier Hansemeyer. Can he get the job done? Because Tijman van der Helm is trying to fight back. Through the right-hander at turn 5 they now go. Nothing to choose between these 3. They're very evenly matched and are vying for the lead of this race. They've only got 1.5 laps now to go as they work their way through turn number 8 on towards the straight, down towards turn number 9. Tijman van der Helm, he's looking on the outside line. Luca Nurmi goes defensive. Javier Hansemeyer is now just starting to pull away because Luca Nurmi is going to try and defend to his heart contents here, and if that doesn't work, he's going to be passed once more, and Javier Hansemeyer will be away with the win and he'll be crowned the champion. But we've got one more lap coming up here as Tijman van der Helm is going to try and fight to get back to the inside line. In towards the chicane they come. They're going to push each other wide, and Luca Nurmi's gone straight through the chicane, which is surely gifted Javier Hansemeyer the win as he comes through to take the junior final of the Winter Cup here. Javier Hansemeyer crosses the line. He takes victory, and he is a very happy man. He timed that to perfection on the last lap. He kept everyone out of their reach, and in the end, it's Javier Hansemeyer who comes through. And, of course, Luca Nurmi knew he had to back off towards the end there because he made a mistake. He went through the chicane and he had to give Tijman van der Helm the place back. But it is going to be Javier Hansemeyer, the winner for Bouvon Power. He started on pole position and he comes through to pick up the win by 1.4 seconds here at the Winter Cup Junior Final. 2nd place goes away of Tijman van der Helm. It's been a very solid weekend for the Dutch racer. 3rd place then to Luca Nurmi. 4th place to Mike van Voogd for the JJ Racing team. 5th place his teammate behind him, Papchen Krejceveld. 6th place was then Hugo Gazelle. 7th place was the Spaniard Joseph Weyer. 8th place was Pietro Wisnicki. 9th place was then Vladimir Eriksson, and Marcel Schumacher round out your top 10. 11th place dropping down, unlucky there for Lewis Gilbert. Jasin Ferati was in 12th place, Rick Bethorn 13th, Jan Malacek, Ali Largim, Benz Tujon, Benz Valent, Frederick Juric in 18th place. 19th was then Kobe Pauls, and 20th place went the way of Guilherme de Oliveira. But what a final that